Creatine after 50 with high blood pressure is a dangerous combination that nobody is warning you about. If you are a man over 50 and you just bought creatine monohydrate because someone told you it builds muscle after 50, but you are also dealing with high blood pressure, hypertension, or you are currently on blood pressure medication, you need to stop everything and watch this entire video right now. What I am about to reveal could be the difference between building muscle safely and ending up in a hospital bed. And stay until the very end, because I have 3 free gifts waiting for you that could literally change your life after 50. Here is what I have got for you today. Number 1, a completely free 30-day workout plan designed exclusively for men over 50. All you have to do is type the word active in the comments. Number 2, if you are currently taking any blood pressure medication, any antihypertensive drug at all, type the word ready in the comments and I will send you a complete breakdown of every major blood pressure medication, how each one works, the side effects your doctor probably rushed through in 60 seconds, and how they interact with supplements like creatine. I am giving all of these away because I genuinely care about your health and I refuse to let misinformation on this platform put your life at risk. Now let us get into this because what you are about to learn is going to shock you. The truth about creatine and your blood pressure after 50. What your doctor is not telling you. All right, let's get straight into it. No fluff, no nonsense. Creatine monohydrate is one of the most studied supplements in the history of sports nutrition. We're talking over 700 published studies. 700. That's more research than most pharmaceutical drugs get before they hit the market. And the overwhelming conclusion from decades of research is that creatine is safe and effective for building muscle, improving strength, and even supporting brain health. That part is true. I'm not here to demonize creatine. I'm here to give you the full picture that nobody else is giving you, especially if you are a man over 50 with blood pressure concerns. Now here's where it gets interesting and where most creators on this platform get it completely wrong. Creatine, by its very mechanism of action, pulls water into your muscle cells. That's actually how it works. It's called cellular hydration or osmotic water retention. When creatine enters your muscle cells, it draws water in with it. That's what gives you that fuller look, that extra 2 to 4 pounds on the scale in the first week. And for a 25-year-old with a perfectly functioning cardiovascular system, that water shift is absolutely negligible. The body handles it like a champion. But here's what nobody is telling you. When you are over 50, your blood vessels are not what they used to be. I hate to break it to you, but it's the truth. Your arterial walls have become stiffer. This is a process called arterial stiffness, and it happens to every single human being as they age. A landmark study published in the journal Hypertension in 2023 confirmed that age-related arterial stiffness accelerates significantly after the age of 50, particularly in men. Your arteries lose elasticity, which means they cannot expand and contract as efficiently to accommodate changes in fluid volume. So now imagine this. You've got stiffer pipes, and you just introduced a supplement that increases total body water by anywhere from 1 to 3 liters, depending on your dosage and loading phase. Where do you think that extra fluid pressure is going to show up? That's right, your blood pressure readings. And if you're already sitting at 135/85, that extra fluid retention could push you right into stage 2 hypertension territory without you even realizing it. Now, before you throw your creatine in the trash, hold on. I said stay right here for a reason. Because the story doesn't end there. A 2024 meta-analysis published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition reviewed 14 randomized controlled trials and found that creatine supplementation did not cause clinically significant increases in blood pressure in healthy adults. But, and this is a massive but, most of those studies excluded participants with pre-existing hypertension. You see the problem? The very population that needs the most guidance, men over 50 with blood pressure issues, was barely represented in the research. So what does that mean for you practically? It means creatine is not automatically dangerous for you, but it means you cannot just blindly scoop 5 grams a day like your 30-year-old gym buddy and assume everything will be fine. You need a strategy, and that's exactly what I'm going to give you in this video. The 4 medications that interact with creatine and nobody warns you about. Now pay close attention to this section because this is where things get serious and where I see the most dangerous misinformation online. If you are currently taking medication for high blood pressure and you start supplementing with creatine without understanding the interactions, you could be setting yourself up for a genuinely dangerous situation. Let's go through the 4 major classes of antihypertensive medications that have notable interactions with creatine supplementation. Number 1. Angiotensin-converting enzyme inhibitors, commonly known by names like lisinopril, enalapril, and ramipril. These medications work by blocking the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, which is a powerful vasoconstrictor. By blocking that conversion, your blood vessels relax and your blood pressure drops. Here's the interaction concern. Angiotensin-converting enzyme inhibitors can affect kidney function, particularly the glomerular filtration rate, which is how efficiently your kidneys filter blood. Creatine is metabolized into creatinine, which is filtered by the kidneys. When you add exogenous creatine to a system where kidney filtration is already being pharmacologically altered, your creatinine levels on blood work can appear artificially elevated. This can cause your doctor to think your kidney function is declining when it's actually fine. I have seen men get pulled off creatine and sent for unnecessary kidney biopsies because nobody told them to inform their doctor about their supplementation. Tell your doctor you are taking creatine before your next blood panel. Write it on a sticky note on your forehead if you have to. Number 2. Diuretics, especially thiazide diuretics like hydrochlorothiazide and loop diuretics like furosemide. These medications work by forcing your kidneys to excrete more sodium and water, which reduces blood volume and lowers blood pressure. Now think about this for 1 second. Creatine pulls water into your muscles. Diuretics pull water out of your body. You are literally running 2 opposing forces at the same time. It's like pressing the gas and the brake simultaneously in your car. What happens? You burn out the engine. In your body, this tug of war can lead to electrolyte imbalances, specifically low potassium and low magnesium levels, which can cause muscle cramps, heart palpitations, and in severe cases, cardiac arrhythmias. If you are on a diuretic and want to use creatine, you absolutely must have your electrolytes monitored regularly. This is not optional. This is not a suggestion. This is a requirement. Number 3. Beta blockers, including metoprolol, atenolol, and propranolol. These medications slow your heart rate and reduce the force of heart contractions to lower blood pressure. The interaction with creatine here is more subtle but still important. Beta blockers reduce cardiac output, meaning your heart pumps less blood per minute. Creatine increases intracellular water, which increases total body fluid volume. When you have increased fluid volume but decreased cardiac output, you can experience peripheral edema, which is swelling in your ankles and lower legs, increased fatigue during exercise, and a feeling of heaviness that many men mistake for just getting old. You're not getting old. Your supplement and your medication are fighting each other. The solution is to start with a lower creatine dose, 2 grams per day instead of 3 to 5, and increase gradually while monitoring for these symptoms. Number 4. And this is the one that concerns me the most. Nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Now I know these are not technically antihypertensives, but so many men over 50 take these daily for joint pain, arthritis, and general aches, and they absolutely affect blood pressure. Drugs like ibuprofen and naproxen cause sodium and water retention and reduce the effectiveness of almost every class of blood pressure medication. When you stack a nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drug with creatine, both of which promote water retention, on top of blood pressure medication that's trying to reduce fluid volume, you have created a pharmacological mess inside your body. A 2023 review in the American Journal of Medicine found that regular nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drug use increased the risk of uncontrolled hypertension by 23% in adults over 50, independent of any supplement use. Add creatine to that equation, and you're playing with fire. If you are on any of these medications and you want full details on their functions and complete side effect profiles, type ready in the comments right now. I will make sure you receive that information because this is too important to leave to guesswork. Your health is not a game of trial and error at this age. One wrong combination can land you in an emergency room wondering what happened. The creatine dosing protocol that protects your heart and still builds muscle after 50. All right. Now that you understand the relationship between creatine, water retention, and blood pressure, let's talk about how to actually use creatine intelligently when you're over 50. Because here's the thing, I don't want you to miss out on the benefits. Creatine is genuinely one of the few supplements that can help you fight sarcopenia, which is the age-related loss of muscle mass that accelerates dramatically after 50. You lose roughly 1 to 2% of your muscle mass per year after the age of 50 if you're not actively resistance training and supporting your nutrition. Creatine can help slow that down significantly, so throwing it away entirely would be foolish. We just need to be smart about it. First rule: skip the loading phase entirely. I don't care what the bodybuilding forums say. I don't care what the label on the tub says. The traditional loading phase, where you take 20 grams per day for 5 to 7 days, was designed for young athletes trying to saturate their muscles as fast as possible for competition. You are not competing in the CrossFit Games. You are trying to stay strong, healthy, and alive for your grandchildren. There's a difference. The loading phase causes a rapid spike in water retention, which is exactly what you do not want when your cardiovascular system is already under strain. A 2023 study from the University of Saskatchewan, one of the leading creatine research institutions in the world, confirmed that taking 3 grams of creatine monohydrate per day achieves full muscle saturation within approximately 28 days without the aggressive water retention spike that comes with loading. 28 days. That's it. You achieve the exact same end result, just without the cardiovascular stress. That's what I call a no-brainer. Second rule: hydration becomes non-negotiable. And I don't mean sipping a little water bottle throughout the day. I mean deliberate, structured hydration. When you take creatine, your muscles are pulling water from your bloodstream. If you are not replacing that water adequately, your blood viscosity increases, which means your blood becomes thicker. Thicker blood is harder to pump. Harder to pump means your heart has to work harder. Heart working harder means elevated blood pressure. It's basic cardiovascular physiology, but almost nobody in the fitness space connects these dots for you. The general recommendation for men over 50 taking creatine is to consume a minimum of half your body weight in ounces of water per day, plus an additional 16 to 20 ounces to account for the creatine-driven fluid shift. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're looking at roughly 116 to 120 ounces of water per day. Yes, you will be visiting the bathroom frequently. Consider it your new cardio. You're welcome. Third rule, and this one is critical: monitor your blood pressure at home. Do not rely solely on those readings you get once every 3 months at your doctor's office. Those readings are often elevated anyway due to white coat hypertension, which is the phenomenon where your blood pressure spikes just from being in a medical setting. Buy a validated home blood pressure monitor. The American Heart Association recommends the Omron brand specifically for home use. Take your readings in the morning before you eat or take any supplements, and again in the evening. Track those numbers for at least 2 weeks before starting creatine to establish your baseline, and then continue tracking after you begin supplementation. If you see a consistent rise of more than 5 millimeters of mercury in your systolic reading over a 2-week period, that's your signal to reassess your dosage or discontinue use and consult your physician. Here's a bonus tip that almost nobody knows about. The timing of your creatine dose may actually matter for blood pressure management. A small but fascinating pilot study from 2024 out of Brazil found that taking creatine immediately post-workout, when blood flow to muscles is already elevated and nutrient uptake is optimized, resulted in slightly less systemic water retention compared to taking it on an empty stomach in the morning. The theory is that the creatine is absorbed directly into the working muscles more efficiently during the post-exercise window, reducing the amount of free water floating around in your vascular system. The research is preliminary, but it makes physiological sense, and when you're managing blood pressure, every small advantage counts. The exact daily protocol I recommend for men over 50 who want creatine benefits without the blood pressure risk. All right, we've covered the science. We've covered the medication interactions, and now it's time to put it all together into a practical daily protocol that you can actually follow. Because information without application is just entertainment, and I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to help you live stronger and longer. Here is the exact protocol, step by step. Step 1. Get a baseline blood pressure reading. As I mentioned earlier, take your blood pressure every morning and evening for 14 consecutive days before you introduce creatine. Write these numbers down. Use a notebook, use your phone, use the back of a napkin. I don't care, just track it. Calculate your average systolic and diastolic readings over that 2-week period. If your average systolic is consistently above 140 or your diastolic is consistently above 90, Do not start creatine until you have spoken with your physician and gotten your blood pressure under control first. I am serious about this. Creatine will still be there when you're ready. It's not going anywhere. It has a shelf life of about 3 years. It can wait. Step 2. Begin with 2 grams of creatine monohydrate per day for the first 14 days. Not creatine hydrochloride, not creatine ethyl ester, not buffered creatine. Creatine monohydrate. It is the most studied, most proven, most cost-effective form available. Everything else is marketing with a higher price tag. 2 grams for 14 days allows your body to begin the saturation process gently without a dramatic fluid shift. Step 3. During those first 14 days, continue monitoring your blood pressure daily. If your readings remain stable, meaning no consistent increase of more than 5 millimeters of mercury systolic, you can increase to 3 grams per day starting on day 15. 3 grams is the sweet spot that the research supports for men over 50. You do not need 5 grams. I know the internet says 5 grams, but the internet also says the earth is flat and that you can get abs in 7 days. So let's use some discernment here. Step 4. Take your creatine dose within 30 minutes after your resistance training session, mixed in water or a post-workout shake. On rest days, take it with your largest meal, preferably one that contains carbohydrates and protein. The insulin response from that meal enhances creatine uptake into muscle tissue. This is not bro science. This is published, peer-reviewed physiology. Step 5. Ensure your daily water intake meets the target I outlined earlier. Half your body weight in ounces plus an additional 16 to 20 ounces. Spread this intake throughout the day. Do not try to drink it all at once. That's not hydration. That's waterboarding yourself. Your kidneys can only process about 27 to 33 ounces per hour, so chugging a gallon in one sitting is counterproductive and potentially dangerous due to the risk of hyponatremia, which is dangerously low sodium levels from excessive water intake. Step 6. Every 90 days, take a 2-week break from creatine. This is called a washout period, and while the research is mixed on whether it's strictly necessary, I recommend it for men over 50 as a precautionary measure. It gives your kidneys a brief respite, allows your body to recalibrate its fluid balance, and provides a natural checkpoint for you to reassess how you feel with and without the supplement. If you feel significantly better during the washout, that tells you something important about how your body is handling the creatine. Step 7, and this is the final piece of the puzzle that ties everything together. Incorporate potassium-rich and magnesium-rich foods into your daily nutrition. These 2 minerals are critical for blood pressure regulation, proper muscle function, and cardiovascular health, and they are depleted faster when you're taking creatine due to the increased water turnover in your body. Potassium-rich foods include avocados, sweet potatoes, bananas, and spinach. Magnesium-rich foods include pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate. Yes, I said dark chocolate. You're welcome. Almonds, and black beans. A 2024 study published in the European Heart Journal found that adequate dietary potassium intake was associated with a significant reduction in cardiovascular events in adults over 50, with the greatest benefit seen in those consuming at least 3,500 milligrams per day. Most men over 50 are getting less than half that amount. Fix that, and you fix a massive blind spot in your health. Now, I want to add one more thing that almost nobody in this space discusses. There is emerging research, very new, from 2024, suggesting that creatine may actually have neuroprotective benefits for aging adults. A study out of the University of Sydney found that creatine supplementation improved cognitive processing speed and short-term memory in adults aged 60 to 80. The brain is one of the most metabolically active organs in your body, and it uses a significant amount of creatine phosphate for energy. As you age, brain creatine levels decline, which may contribute to age-related cognitive decline. So creatine isn't just about your muscles. It's potentially about keeping your mind sharp as well. But none of that matters if you stroke out because you didn't manage your blood pressure while taking it. Priorities, gentlemen. Let me wrap this up with something that I truly believe. You are not too old to build muscle. You are not too old to get stronger. You are not too old to transform your body and your health. But you are too old to be reckless about it. Every decision you make with your health at this age needs to be informed, intentional, and intelligent. That's exactly why I created the free 30-day workout plan specifically for men over 50. It accounts for joint health, recovery capacity, blood pressure considerations, and progressive overload in a way that is sustainable and safe. Type active in the comments to get it sent to you directly. And if you are on any blood pressure medication, type ready so I can get you that medication breakdown. I don't charge for this because I believe every man over 50 deserves access to this information without a paywall. If this video helped you, if you learned even one thing you didn't know before, hit that like button. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it helps this video reach other men over 50 who need to hear this before they make a mistake with their health. Subscribe if you haven't already because I put out content like this every single week, content that is backed by real science, not by supplement company sponsorships. Share this video with a friend, a brother, a father, anyone over 50 who is considering creatine. You might just save them a trip to the emergency room. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay informed, and for the love of everything holy, drink your water.